Fallout over baseless claims of fraud in recent elections continues to preoccupy a segment of Arizona's Republican Party, including some elected officials and even some election administrators. How is all this impacting preparation for next year's election? For that, we ask Arizona Secretary of State Adrian Fontes, who joins us in studio. It's good to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Good to see you again. Yeah, let's talk about fraud. I mean, what's going on as far as administration right now? How are you handling things? Are you ready for next year?
Well, first and foremost, we have to understand that our elections are just around the corner. We are way less than, I think we're 9 months from the presidential preference election in mid-March next year. That means 2024 is upon us. We've got to start working now to recruit the right folks, to train them well so that we can get them certified. And so right now we're negotiating a budget that is about $4.2 million. Plus $3 million of HAVA money that is already spent, needs to be appropriated by the legislature. Once we get that in hand, we'll be able to start helping the counties prep up and move things forward so we can have a successful election.
As far as the budget is concerned, your biggest needs, your biggest asks?
Well, our biggest needs are people. The Secretary of State's office and the Department of State have been underfunded, basically starved, for a long time, going back several secretaries. We've been working hard with folks in the governor's office and in both houses of the legislature to make sure to basically bring the office back to zero. We've got to have secured systems. We've got to have robust systems that actually do the jobs we want them to do. And we dodged the bullet in 2022 with some of the things that we're looking at now, especially the loss of experienced election officials across 10 of our 15 counties in Arizona.
I was going to say the loss of that kind of personnel. How much is election denialism and the vitriol involved impacting that personnel?
Well, look, last year the Brennan Center for Justice put out a report that talked about 1 in 6 election workers really being impacted by sort of the disinformation, a lot of the threats and things like that. It's down to 1 in 3 now. We've got a real problem nationally, and it's really hit close to home in Arizona. A lot of folks in election administration positions who've been there for a long time, they didn't buy in for this. They got into these jobs because they just wanted to serve the public. Now, we've got to talk about security. We've got to talk about dealing with these threats. We've got to talk about investigations in spaces where it never existed before.